Welcome to Michelle's Opinions. I have a guest tonight who is spontaneously improv, and it's a blessing to have him come forward and share his wisdom with us. He was in the chat earlier, and he actually has a day to himself where he can actually share some time with us and interact with the chat. So, without further ado, I will allow Bob to introduce himself while I get the live chat up and going.
Hello, I'm Bob.
I need a little more time than that, Bob.
Okay. I just wanted to say the one who's benefited the most is myself, and I really wanted to come out and thank everybody and acknowledge the growth that has been happening. There's something wonderful happening out there. We do not know exactly what it is, but there's clear evidence that something is happening. Different people have different preferences where they want to look. I don't believe any of them are wrong. But if we have an idea that completely rejects everyone else and wants to isolate itself, I personally don't have an issue with it, but it can help if there is more connections made from diverse groups to expand our consciousness, our experience. If I'm isolating myself from somebody or an experience, I'm the one that's losing from that experience. So we've got an array of people coming in. The one thing that we have in common is that we see something is happening. And we see that what's happening out in the world where people that we are calling asleep, which I don't know how I feel about that term. It's more complicated than that because a lot of people are asleep knowingly. So it's not so much that they're asleep. It's either, what can I do about it? I have mortgage and responsibilities, or they are afraid to jeopardize their standing in community, which can impact their livelihood if they start talking about the experiences they're having. I've even had friends who've told me, yeah, they see all the weirdness out there, but their response was, what can I do about it? And moved on. So the group that sees this and panics, and they panic not because they are any less courageous, they're more sensitive, they're more in tune to it, they're impacted more by it. It's like giving something to someone that their tolerance for it is way below what the average community has set as a standard, where it's alcohol or any other medication. That's where we are right now, and I want to thank you, Michele, because of what you've done. There has been injection of new people and absolutely wonderful, beautiful people coming into the flame and bringing new perspective, fresh ideas, and staying positive. The one thing I wanted to talk about flame, if that's okay with you, is it, Michele?
Sure, yes. And I want to say that let me do shout outs to people in the room real quick. Hey, Quantum Affected Life. Hey, Pretty Dark. Sup, guys? Mel's Table Talk. Captain Lee. How are you guys all doing? And anybody else that's out there watching, I see that there's 12 in the room. Say hello so I can say hello. And I know that the notifications take a little while to get out. Sorry. But, I noticed in the stream I did earlier that Bob was willing to come in, but I was just about ready to finish. And, he deserves a full hour because of the understanding that he has, and, what he's observed himself and what he has to share is, It's beautiful. It's profound. And, you know, his eyes are definitely wide open. He takes the position of the observer. He takes the, position of the participant. He takes the position of going straight to source and seeing us all as one. And earlier in the conversation that we had, that I had when I was live, was I said that people are worth more than their weight in gold. And he said that that activated him. And I had also mentioned that, you know, once when, you know, he is in flame. And I also put that link, there's an unexpirable link. So no matter when you're watching this, if you look in the show more notes, there is an invitation there to our chat forum, Flame. And he is there quite a bit. Mel's there. She's in and out. Captain's there. Magi is in Mexico, but he's usually around, you know, pretty often. There's some really amazing people that have been there a long time. And the new people who are coming in are absolutely beautiful hearts, wonderful. But we see the unity and diversity because although we have different cultures, countries, backgrounds, religions, the same similar things are going on within each and every one of us. And it's beautiful that we're able to express ourselves. And, you know, people will listen to you respectfully and participate and see synchronicities in what you're going through. So you said that that activated you when they said people were worth more than their weight in gold. Did you want to elaborate more on that, Bob?
Well, if I'm allowed, I want to take a different route and come back to this.
You're allowed. This is free reign. This is the Bob Show tonight. It's all you.
The first thing I think to establish the mode of operation we have at the Flame is based on a different mentality in a fellowship. We don't debate in a sense of argument. We have views that gets expressed by somebody who comes in, and it can be on anything that you want. It could be something that's concerning you out there. You're experiencing something weird. It takes a little bit of time to get comfortable to see how radically open-minded we are, almost to the point of it's upsetting some people. It's not that when we're open to an idea, we're going to adopt it. We're holding a position that's opposite to ours, because if we don't, we're missing half of the knowledge that's available regarding whatever's being talked about. And then we present what we call and more. So somebody talks about whatever like it triggers somebody else, activates somebody else. If somebody gets triggered, we encourage them to discuss it, bring it out. There's a lot of purging going out there right now. There's a lot of hard times. People get confused. When I first started experiencing the symptoms, I got my brain scanned. I got all tests out there. I just couldn't understand what was happening. They couldn't find anything wrong with me, but I did not feel right. There was nausea, fibromyalgia-like pains, joints, hot, cold flashes, brain fog, headaches. It was absolutely horrible. So when you get out of being like that, feeling like that, it feels so good that all you want to do is share what you learned from other people who had experienced this before me, shared it with me, and allowed me to get that freedom. And if I have the opportunity or privilege to pay this forward, I would do that with, I don't know what an appropriate word would it, but
with what you're doing right now. And I just want to say this, that Bob is welcome on here anytime, because he doesn't have a YouTube platform, but he does have a lot to share with people. And it is very, very important, you know, that we hear from multiple different sources, because there's comfort in hearing that, oh, oh, he's going through something similar to me. That's the unity and diversity. So, and the presence that he does in the flame, you know, listening to people, observing, and he calls it being activated, where then he starts asking questions because he's wanting to know you a little bit better. And I mentioned earlier that he's very, very psychic. He'll noodle around in your noodle. He'll tell you things that are so off the cuff that you're like, where did you get that? But it'll be something really about you. It's pretty fascinating, you know. So those are some of my experiences with Bob. But yeah, this right here, what you're doing, Bob, is in service to others by sharing what you know so others can listen and grow.
Well, thank you for that, Michele. I really don't have any abilities. I'm perceptive. I've lived life. I've had the privilege of experiencing a very unique life, and I'm old, and I have time to spend. I don't have a family. I'm in a position right now where I can't be far from home. Um, so I'm making the most of it. It was quite a shock in the beginning, but right now I'm the happiest that I could be, and that's what I want to let other people know, that what you're going through right now, it is absolutely worth it. I repeat a lot of what other YouTube channels that I've watched have said, and much wiser people than me. My gift is I can see the gift in other people, so I know what to pick and choose, and I try to share that back out. Something that's helped me. So it's that hope to know that you're not doing this for nothing. You're not doing this like it keeps going and coming, and this date comes and that date goes. And about dates, I just want to say that people will love somebody who will give them a date until the date passes and nothing happens, and they crucify that person, whatever platform they are. People starting to lose subs, are starting to get bad comments, emotion flags all over the place. The date depends on us when we do the work. The date isn't preset in a specific cycle. It's done when we actually unite as a race, enough of us, to create a cascade, 100th monkey effect all over the place, without trying to superimpose a uniform state of being, rather than having a uniform understanding that everything goes as long as the boundaries are respected and everything is based on a positive and transparent interaction. It's time to bring authenticity back. The reason we're not telepathic is because we could be telepathic, but the other person's embarrassed and they'll say no to something that you've picked up, so you don't really get an opportunity to exercise it. The worst thing to telepathy is lying, and you have to be able to express the nuances of what you want to transmit telepathically, which I think is more empathically and more visual and energetic than you are thinking number 7. I mean, that comes through, but it's more relevant that I'm feeling down, I need help, come and charge me up. How many friends did we call? They say, I was thinking about you, and they found that you find that they needed to connect to someone.
Mm-hmm.
So all this is happening, and you come in the flame, you talk about any of what you might find it to be burdensome. We want to be good. We don't want to bring low vibration to the group. If the group is strong enough, they will help bring your vibration up.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing we teach there. There's nothing we have to follow. There's no leadership. One thing that's exciting, we embrace the divine feminine, and it's absolutely wonderful to see how many women are rising up to this. And men, I believe, will get to a point where they won't have a choice. And it's already happening.
Give me 1 second there, Bob. Welcome, Scotlight Craig, Warrior Craig. Let's see who else has popped in on me. Fire Earth, welcome. Pretty Dark, welcome. Joanne, I don't know if I said you before, but welcome. Josie, oh wow, there's a love bombing. Lee, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Continue. Oh, Dusty Blue. Good to see all you guys. And as Bob's talking, if you have any questions, type them in and I will ask him for you because I'm keeping an eye on the chat while he is talking. I think he's pretty good at keeping an eye on the chat too. But for me, it's like having to walk into bubble gum. Sometimes I fall down. But okay, Bob, I just wanted to do shout outs to the people in the room. We've got 19 in and Lenny Thyme. Hello, Lenny. Welcome. Welcome, everybody.
Okay. Welcome, everybody.
And there's Bob. See? So he is keeping an eye on the chat. Okay, wonderful. Okay, Bob, you were talking about, how we come into the flame and, we respect one another. And that is a big part of it. We have to broaden our perception because if we close ourselves off, we're missing out. I mean, because each of us have a piece of the puzzle, at least in my opinions, we each have a piece of the puzzle that is, authentic to us to present. And I am in agreement with the date setting thing. It just breaks people's hearts. But I can tell you this, guys, we do make it. That I'll tell you. I don't know when, but I know we make it. I've seen it. But as in anything that we do, when you're kind of outside of time, so you really don't know when you're looking at, but humanity makes it. So just keep holding fast and gleaning, growing, and having these things manifest up within you. And I do think Bob has a good point there because we are able to, as we are developing along, we can see through the masks, the intentions behind things, whether somebody's authentic or if they're still trying to mask or hide things from you. You're becoming more sensitive to those things. And we're trying at this time to learn to manage those emotions. It's kind of like when empathy cracks open and you feel everybody around you. Well, once you get, figure out how to establish that border, then you start being able to feel the intentions behind people, and they can deny it, but you can still feel it. So it's an interesting time, and it was an interesting thing that he brought up there because, I'm going to tell you, Bob may not think he's shy about his gifts, but then I think everybody is. And I don't think it's that we're modest about the gifts. I think it's that we know that it's in everybody. So if the gifts are for everybody, then it's actually what we're supposed to be normally when we are whole again. Instead of being hewed down man, we become mankind. So are you there, Bob?
Yes, sorry, I had to refresh my screen.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. So I was just agreeing with some of the points that you made and just expanding on a little bit and saying hello. And hey, Captain Lee. I don't know if I got you earlier, but I got you now. And Joanne Williams. Don't know if I got you. See? Okay. Continue, Bob. Thank you.
I really like where you're going with this. And I wanted to run something by you and see what you think. If we momentarily imagine that all our emotions breaks down to love and fear, low vibration, high vibration, and if we consider the only free will we have is to choose when we view something, is it going to be from a place of love or a place of fear? I'm certain majority of people would say they'd go for love, higher vibration. That's why we're here. We're celebrating the advent of the potentiality of it, let alone when it comes in droves. So we again, go back to the realization something amazing is happening. And at the same time, we don't know what's coming. Everybody has a different idea, and I believe everybody's is accurate in their own perceptual quantum reality. But when you go to the end point of all this searching from CERN for demons, New Age, Old Testament, Islam, Judaism, science, take them all and put those aside for a moment. Go to the end of what the event's going to end up doing. And are we going to look at that from love or fear? Is this happening out of love to me? Or is this happening because the universe is out to get me? Well, for me, if the universe is out to get me, it could take me out quite easily. It makes a lot more sense that it's coming from a place of love, rationally, and now I feel it physically with my body, and now I witness it in a community growing like wildflower. Fire, not flower. We like wildflowers too. And that really touches my heart. Not only in a sense it makes me feel good, it charges me up. And when it charges me up, it allows me to see more, to do more, but not with any intention to control it or drive it, but to allow it to choose for me. I've gone to the point where I've given up control. There's no role of director in me in my life. I'm letting the universe do the directing, and I'll be the best that I can in the situation that's presented, and focus on becoming aware in the middle of a learning lesson and applying the lesson in real time. And if we learn to do that, if you notice, we've been getting lesson after lesson after lesson. Before it used to be a year before something would happen, then it was months, and now it's multiple times a day. That can get exhausting. So again, we go back to the place of love and disengage and allow it to take us on autopilot, because at the end of the day, we arrive, we're water. The water is going to find the level. It's going to find many different paths to get to its source, and it's going to settle until something else happens. We are almost at a settled state. I was speaking with people that I respect, and they feel that the height of the wave for different groups of people, we think it comes in different dimensionalities. For the group, the cohort that we're in now, it seems to be stabilizing. So having made it and being someone who's giving testament that I've gone to the other side enough to know nothing that's going to come is going to impact me from taking my position from love to fear. I'm going to be tested, I'm going to be challenged, but I'm going to be mindful and refocus above and all, go back to love. And in order for me to be able to go back to love, I cannot judge others. That means anything that's in existence has a right to exist, and I have to learn to receive instead of take. We're in a society of instant gratifications that we know how to take, but we haven't learned how to receive when the fruit isn't ripe and we take it and eat it, and we want to hoard it. We'll never experience what a ripened fruit is that we have to share with more people, but the end result is going to be a completely different experience. So that's what I'm asking you, Michele. Is there any worth of putting any energy in fear, even though you're looking at this scary stuff? I'm not saying don't look at them, but look at them with a curiosity, knowing that love is going to overtake it. Because love can penetrate darkness. Darkness cannot penetrate light. And we're claiming to be children of light. We cannot be engulfed. There's always going to be an amber in us, like Ram Dass says. The amber will always be there, and all it needs to be fanned. And right now we're getting a huge wind coming in that is starting to ignite a lot of fires. And there's going to be smoke, there's going to be crackling, there's going to be some confusion. But when the flame comes, there's going to be no more confusion.
Right. I agree. Yes. And yeah, you know, sometimes things will, you know, kick you up off of your feet and knock you on your tuchus. Things that you don't expect. So when, you know, I am through this outreach, I'll just answer your question with a parable, if that's okay, Bob. Do
Of
this,
course.
do this outreach. The reward is in these beautiful people, um, and they make it so worth it that if my testimony, putting it out there, can reach even one and bring them some peace for them to go through this, losing fear, and to become all that they are, the divine breath of life that is within each and every one of us, then it's worth it. Um, I'm not good at taking. I don't like to take from other people, so I do fall into a little naivety with that. So, with that said, you know, I am I'm very blessed. I feel very blessed by the response that people are showing my little spot here. It's really hard to get acknowledged in YouTube land, but there's so many beautiful, amazing people that I would not trade for the world. So, um, and this is through love. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Are you chirping? Do you have a bird over there?
I have birds, not one bird, birds.
I don't know. I think it's your messages. You're getting messages or something on Discord. I'm just playing with you. But yeah, the ember. You know, even if you think the fire is out, there can still be a little bit of a flicker of a flame. You talked about that. You know, with that revolving staircase. That you see, it sometimes may feel like we're going in circles, stuff, and revisit. But just realize that when you're going back to something, you're at a higher vantage point. You're getting another perspective at it, and getting another chance to maybe do something a little different with it, with this new vantage point. So it's always a progression. It's not a regression. You, even when you feel like you're going through the darkness, when things are being removed, the false identities, the false ideas of yourself, that can feel like a pretty dark time. But those are things that don't serve you anymore. And when those are removed, and then it's replaced with that unconditional love of the true you, those things will be added back onto you. So don't worry so much and don't be so hard on yourself. We need to be patient with ourselves. We need to be kind to ourselves. We need to be kind with other people. Show the respect for people that you want them to show for you. You know, we're learning together, hand in hand, and it is a beautiful thing. I mean, it's, and like I said, the people that I have met are just, oh my gosh, there's some streams I just love floating in because the love there, the energy of this unconditional love for each other is just so um, tangible. I can feel it. Like I can, you know, I can feel the energies from it. It's just absolutely beautiful. So, you know, sometimes I take my breaks and I go and I'll float in the stream where I don't have to, I can type in something and talk that way, but I don't have to, you know, it's pretty effortless. I can just float and just enjoy the love and then put in my heart in there too. So I recommend those kind of things too for, you know, if you're feeling a little bit down and you need a boost back up, do some things for yourself. Be kind to yourself. I myself, I love to go swimming. And I'm learning time management with the software and stuff that I'm dealing with. I'm actually really surprising myself because I'm actually learning it faster than I thought I would. Now I'm getting help, don't get me wrong, but I'm understanding it faster, and that's pretty amazing. But before this refinement period, I was pretty tech savvy, and then I became, you know, ignorant to all that stuff for a very long time, and I talked about turning your television off for a while. I went a year with no TV, not watching the news, not watching television, none of that garbage, to clear all that stuff out. Because, you know, it said the eyes are the windows to our soul. So what we're putting in is what is going to, you know, and you guys hear me say it often, what's going on in the micro happens out in the macro. And I'll tell you guys, you know, just fasting from the television just made a huge difference in my life. Just simple things like that. Find an activity, go for a walk, go to a park. Um, like I said, I enjoy swimming. Do something for yourself. My health is dramatically improved. Things that are going on in my life are just off the charts, just off the charts. And I know for a fact that this is not a one person thing. This is an everybody thing. It's meant for each and every single one of us. Okay, Bob, I'll let you you go on from here.
Um,
I didn't mean to hog the floor on you. It's the
I'm,
Bob show.
I'm reflecting on what you're saying. You're hitting on the pragmatic aspect of what you have to do to get the work done, and the amount of effort it takes to go into doing it. It's really commendable what you've done in such a short period of time. I mean, the presentation, the content's always been wonderful, but the presentation's also evolving. The whole um, experience is it's getting fuller, richer, and I think it's helping to get more dynamic for the audience because of the nice variety of guests that comes on board.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I bring on anybody that's willing to volunteer their time and come on and share what they know so others can listen and grow. You know, that's, you know, what this format is for. Yeah, I'll shine a light on your channel for you. Absolutely. You know, I'll put you in the My Divine Family list and hopefully you'll gain some subscribers and stuff for it. But yeah, and I appreciate all of you that volunteer to come forward and share what you know so others can glean from it and grow. Um, Much gratitude to all the variety of people I've had, from authors to, you know, Brandon was so full of energy that he affected his equipment, but it was still a wonderful interview. I mean, I am running into the most amazing people. I had Josie on the other day on the cuff. Just she popped in with me when then we were going to do open format, and she's an amazing person. I'm just so blessed. I just feel so blessed with the people that I'm meeting. It's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Bob.
I wanted you to have the opportunity to share why you do this for your audience, to let them know that you feel what they've gone through and what your intention is to help get them on their own footing to be able to handle this. We talked about this before the show, and I think that deserves to be talked on, and you'd never do it yourself, so I'd like to hear your testimony on that.
Wait a minute, Bob. Who's doing the interviewing here?
If you're not comfortable,
I'm teasing you. No, Bob, it's the Bob show. It's all good. No. No, I've also mentioned it before that I've been these places, so I have the empathy there. This is through a lot of these things are through my own experiences, and through my own experiences, I'm trying to throw the rope out that I wish that was out there for me when I was going through it. So I'm very compassionate and understanding to what people are going through as these things are happening within us, because I've been there myself. So this outreach is something that personally I would have loved to have come across. I I searched all over the place to find, what was going on within me. And I only could come up with very dogmatic Christian prophecy being fulfilled type of channels. And I ended up picking up burdens that were not mine because I was made to feel that I was not good enough. I was not holy enough. I was not righteous enough. And it made me, I like to go swimming. Well, let's just use that analogy like I did with Bob. The burdens I was picking up that weren't mine to carry, they made me sink to the bottom. But it probably took me a little longer to go through this process as I was picking up burdens that were not my own. So my intention here is to hopefully, if there's anything that I'm saying that resonates with you, where you'll see in synchronicity that's going on within you, that it will be like throwing you a little rope, but it's up to you to grab it. And I bring on a variety of different people to share what they know, because just in case I don't resonate with you, I know I put their channels so easily found. So, maybe that's the person that you should go, and maybe they resonate more with you, because it's more about the message than it is about the messenger. So yeah, that's what we were talking about prior to the show. Was there anything I'm missing there, Bob?
No, I just wanted you to, we need to keep hearing that. It puts a bit of focus on why we're talking about this, why we're presenting what we're presenting, because myself personally, I'm very reserved in who I listen to and who I trust, and I focus on the words rather than the character and the personality. Although a lot of times it's difficult not to get wash of what you find to be this genuine presentation. So you're going to get smaller crowds when you got an authentic channel, in sense of you are interacting with your audience. When you've got, million subs on your channel and you're getting God knows how many posts on there, it changes, it transforms. So you're at a very interesting spot with your channel, and I believe it's going to play itself out the way it's intended to. And going by what you've going so far, it's going to be ready for a particular timing. There's I keep getting a sense that there's a timing where everything will start to cascade, and that cascade will act as a catalyst, and that catalyst can potentially create a separation of not individualities in a physical way, but on an energetic way, or who's ready to receive what type of energy as things progress. And it's important for people who've gotten more experience not to pull the people who are coming in too fast and overwhelm them, to allow them to acclimate to this wild place, because I can just imagine feeling so awkward talking about the things I'm experiencing, and I think I might be losing my mind. And then I meet not just one person, but a community that laughs at the things that I say in joy, not out of mockery. They laugh because they've experienced it, and they're happy because we always say you've come home now, in the sense that you're around people who have gone through the turmoils that you've gone through. And at the end of the day, nothing is more important, in my opinion, than the state of our emotional well-being, how we feel. And
I think that's why I started out like right from the get-go, wanting to get to know the people. I want to stay I want there to be a connection with the people. whether the channel gets really big and stuff, I still want the, you know, people to go into the flame. I still want to be in touch with people, because if it wasn't for people subscribing, then I wouldn't have a platform. So I want to grow with the channel. That makes sense. I want to get to know
Absolutely.
everybody. You know, I want to have a relationship with everybody. We had somebody new come in, Yellow Sun. Hello, welcome. Okay, I think that, yeah, everybody else is still hanging out. Thank you guys for all coming to a second one today, but this is a rare treat to have Bob for an hour, you know, with no distractions, where he actually got a day to himself to, you know, spend some time sharing. And it's wonderful. Bob?
I want to see if anybody has a particular question
Mm.
that they want to talk about. Most of the things I talk about do not interest a lot of people. Um, I make things a little bit boring, and take the excitement away from it. And I know that's something that I need to develop. I believe in the magical aspect of it, but I believe the magic will come only after we've worked on ourselves. I believe we're going in a place where you can't cheat or bribe or cut in line to get where you want to get to, because it's an internal journey. It's your own development that you're playing with. So people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that there isn't a spaceship coming in and taking us away. I'm not saying the spaceship isn't there, but according to laws of free will and universe, they won't be able to interact unless we ask them for. And even that is to a limited way. Except what they say has happened, there has been a deviation from how we're supposed to be experiencing this reality, that it started to become a threat to the overall well-being of the universe, as it becoming cancerous. Because when you have consciousness that does not respond to gratitude and love, uh, it's going to consume everything, without any regards or consciousness. All its focus is on itself. So,
There's a question for you, Bob, from Joanne Williams. Did Bob ever find himself afraid of his gifts, or more like surprised? I mean, question mark.
no, frustrated. I felt extremely frustrated by it. I was aware from a young age. That's what I would call about the gift, and I was able to see, um, through people, how things were. I didn't understand why I was here. I thought I was adopted, um, and I come from a loving family. It was only after my brother was born and it was a duplicate copy of me that I knew I wasn't adopted for sure. Um, it never scared me. It made me sad because it made me alone. I couldn't explain it to people. Most of my friends were adults, so I got through a lot there. I got used to a lot of attention. It's one of my weaknesses, um, but it's not designed for attention to have myself acknowledged in a sense of importance. It's attention because that's when I knew I was performing well, because I had a very strict upbringing, and uh, from religious, academic, with athletics. I didn't have a childhood where I spent a lot of time with other friends, and my grandma explained a lot of things to me as I was growing up. Everything started with dreams for me. Um, I personally, from every other gift that's out there, and they're all included in what we call the second attention, the non-ordinary attention, by far pick dreaming. And I've never been afraid in my dream. I've had anxiety when I would have normal dreams, like I'd have a car accident and I'm going, oh my God, my insurance is going up. I've died in my dreams before. My sense of fear didn't work until later on in life. It was a dysfunction. It's not a state of pride, because without fear, you can't be courageous. I was just oblivious and extremely lucky. Um, I've had a lot of near death experiences. I've actually died and they've brought me back. Um, uh, it took a lot to get me to settle down here, but fear was never an issue. But once I learned about fear, it paralyzed me for 2, 3 years.
Fire Earth, I want to say hi, Fire Earth, welcome, welcome. Can we talk about people that hear voices from the divine? Do you know anything on that topic there, Bob?
I know my own experience, and I know I started to hear voices when I was going through the ascension. It would be like my name being whispered and nobody's there. It would be laughter, and I'd see silhouettes from my peripheral as well at times, but there were times it's just be the voice. It would make me stop and turn around and look for it. I believe what we everything comes from the divine. I'm not arguing about that divinity, but the way I found the process of downloading works, and it can come from auditory visions, visuals, all sorts of different sensory. People have different predilections. Words, the word that they're better at. So they, and I say by they, I'm including us. We get a message, and look at it like someone hearing their telephone ring. And we get so excited that the telephone rang, we run outside and tell everybody, hey, my phone is ringing. But we don't pick up the phone to see who's there. So the next stage of it is we see that phone keeps ringing. This time we pick up the phone. And now we start to learn to listen. And we realize, oh, it's all about becoming quiet. The universe has always been talking to me. I just haven't been listening. So we start to listen, and we don't just listen with our ears. We listen through circumstances, events. When our intuition says, that was a lesson for me. When my intuition says, this is an opportunity for me to become a kinder person. So this experience, when it's authentic and it's far away from fear, because you know that from your core you're eternal, and you can forego the fact that you're one of every other person that lived that is going to grow old and die. So is the universe eventually, but in its place something new is going to be coming in its place. So you start to see this, and your translation of the messages improve. So don't be afraid of anything that you hear. Don't tell people about that you're hearing voices. That's not a community like ours. Unless you don't trust the community like ours and you want to talk to a therapist, that's anything that will get you calm, and anything that will take away expectations that you have for you to be an anointed messenger, that you're the only one hearing messages. We're all hearing it. And some of
so
us...
you're not crazy. That's what he's trying to say. You're not crazy. The universe is, and he is 100% right. The universe is talking to each and every one of us. It's just a matter of us to tune into it and listen. And then the next step after we start listening is now we start applying it in our life and start walking in it. I mean, I'm making it sound simple. It's not simple. And that's, what my channel's about, is talking about, this refinement period, this learning the language. You start as a baby. Babies can't talk. That's, the universe is talking to you, but you're just, able to cry because you don't understand. But then you start saying some words, and then full sentences, then full paragraphs, and then You're having a full-on conversation, and you're walking, running, flying, and then you're applying it into your daily lives. And that's the step that comes after, all of this is ignited inside of us. People talk about this event. The event is happening now within each and every person in their own time. And it will be at the point where we all are understanding who and what we are, and we are walking in it and applying it in our world and what's going on around us. I mean, we're limitless, guys. It's time for us to pop out of the oppressed state victim fear base and go into that unconditional, warm, loving, where everybody is equal. There's no division between us. We're walking hand in hand. There's no higher than or less than. Even though some people went through a journey earlier or later, doesn't matter. When they pop out at that one point, usually it's right after the darkest part, you pop out, you see that every single person has that divineness within them too, and that we're all one. And so when we start to, work as one with these abilities, it's limitless, guys. It's absolutely limitless. Sorry, Bob, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was beautiful.
We got about 11 minutes. Bob, he put in the flame chat forum. Remember, guys, I put it in the description box below also. All is welcome. The one I put in the description box will never expire. So it's set for no limit and never to expire. So whenever you're seeing this video, if you're interested in coming in there and having people, hear what's going on with you, and you can listen to other people and find synchronicities and find some balance in your life, realize that you're not alone in it, come on in. Absolutely. Okay, there you go. Sorry, Bob. Just wanted to do a little channel maintenance.
No problem.
Oh, I love your tiger. Where did you find that emoji? Did you make it?
No, it's standard built in.
Okay.
I also want to say that there are some incredible individuals in Flame. I've learned so much from them. A lot of brilliant women, a lot of independent women. There's a consensus among the group that I'm close with on the Flame, which is majority of the people, that this is all about the return of the divine feminine. And whenever you want to have validation if you're on the right path regarding what you assuming you're seeing, the evidence is out there. The amount of women standing up today and helping bring back balance to the planet is amazing. And I'm not saying the divine feminine is based on sexism, but
it's a right side, left side brain thing, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think, I mean, there's significant hormonal differences between men and women, that women have more natural access to the right side of their brain.
That's interesting. Fire Earth. My mom came into the room crying 3 days ago because she was hearing angels singing to her and God singing a bunch of cool stuff. Wow. That's an amazing share there, Fire Earth.
Amazing.
Wow. Yes. When I interviewed Anna, she said after her spiritual awakening, she heard angels singing to her for 2 days. So that's, bring your mom some comfort in that, knowing that that's happened to other people. It's a beautiful thing. Wow. Wow. Eat eggplants, not people and animals. Is that your final thoughts there, Bob? We got about 6 minutes, and we'll be zipping it up. So, anybody have any questions for Bob or myself? It seems like we're both being interviewed here tonight. But that's, okay. Actually, if you want to, know what a standard conversation is like in the flame, you're pretty much seeing one right here live. Am I right, Bob?
Absolutely.
Okay, Fire Earth, I guess I'm saying that the people in your life don't think aren't gonna awake may very well be awash, a wash more connected than you think. You mean a lot more connected than you? And I have to agree with you. A lot of people will discount somebody as saying they're asleep or whatever. There's a lot of people that just don't talk about it. They're silent viewers. I was one of them. I observed for a very, very long time, quietly, trying to figure out, what the heck was going on. So I can totally respect the silent viewers that, are just trying to uh, put some logic behind what is completely illogical. Because it does seem like you're lifting off. It's otherworldly. It seems magical. But that's because we're becoming our authentic self. And then it will then become normal again because that is the way that we are meant to be. And we've been that way the entire time. We just were not aware of it. So it seems like a magical time, but we've been always doing it. Now we're doing it with awareness. So we're taking sovereignty and responsibility, and then in the micro, creating in the macro. And I have not met anyone yet that has a heart of selfishness that has been through this process. That I can tell you is for sure. Their heart is for equality, it's for plenty for all, it's for, needs met, not only needs, but wants. It's for people going after their passions and loving what they're doing, not punching a clock just to bring in a paycheck, but having a passion for what they are doing and going after it with their whole heart. It's just absolutely an amazing time to be alive, guys. It's an amazing time to get this understanding. I feel so blessed to have lived from Pisces into Aquarius. We're dawning into a new age, my friends, and it's wonderful. I'll give you some final words there, Bob. We got about 3 minutes.
I'm happy and content. Much gratitude to everyone. It's something you have to experience yourself. It was an absolute reprieve and blessing when I found the community. I never even realized it at the moment. It took several months. And once I started to see positive results in 3D world from my interaction here, no more road rage, no more getting angry in lineups, no more having disappointments because I have no expectations, and becoming more compassionate. I learned an absolute truckload. I wonder if that's a good word. Seeker would know.
Seeker. I love Seeker. So you learned, or a boatload. You learned a boatload.
Yes, from the people that I've interacted with. I mean, I was okay. I was sufficient. I wasn't struggling, but I wasn't flourishing. Once I got in the community and started to hear people and started to connect the dots with other people's help, it just led to more and more and more. It just started to snowball.
That's
Thank
wonderful.
You for coming.
And
this is the end of Michele's opinions.
Oh.
Thank you for coming to Bob's show.
You trying to help me out?
Yes.
You're so sweet. Hey guys, Thanks for coming and listening to this wonderful interview with Bob. He's welcome on here anytime he has a free moment. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification, and you got to select one of those 3 options to be notified now. YouTube and their changes. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night. Peace. Talk to you soon.